So do you buy it when Trump says that if he had to do it all over again, he would do more to ensure that the National Guard was deployed to prevent the storming of the Capitol?
I mean, Katie, it's good to be here. Donald Trump lies like you breathe. There's nothing in that statement that has any legitimacy to it. The guy doesn't know how to tell the truth. And then he'll go to another super rally that he wants to say is fully sold out. And he'll turn around and he'll tell you that there was nothing but love, that there was no insurrectionists, that there was no storming of the Capitol. He makes things up as he goes along. He thinks he's playing to the crowd. The problem is that the crowd is now fully informed of exactly what Donald Trump was doing, exactly what he was thinking at the time, exactly what opportunities that he had in order to deploy assistance to the Capitol Police to stop the insurrectionists, in order to do his duty as President of the United States, something that he failed, and he failed miserably at.
So, Michael, when Congresswoman Liz Cheney disclosed the existence of these texts and that Mark Meadows and Trump allies, that there could be the possibility of a felony charge that Trump may have committed for obstructing, influencing, or impeding official proceeding through action or inaction, which includes Congress trying to count electoral votes. Do you think Trump is actually concerned about where this congressional committee is going? I mean, he just released yesterday what some are calling an unhinged statement, railing against Democrats and claiming that they just want to put everybody into jail.
Yeah, I mean, what else can Donald Trump do other than deflect and to denigrate anybody that questions his ultimate authority and power, even though somebody has to knock on the door and advise him that he's not the president anymore. He doesn't have the executive privilege to make these determinations. It's actually, if it's not so sad, it would be comical. The guy just doesn't understand the way that government works. He doesn't understand that he's not the president and that executive privilege doesn't last forever.
So a lot of people may or may not know this, but to be clear, you've given over 300 hours of testimony to 10 different congressional and government agencies, which has actually spawned more than 18 investigations, including New York prosecutors looking into whether Trump misled the value of his assets to get loans or to achieve some kind of tax break. What would you say to people like Mark Meadows and Steve Bannon? You know, what would be that takeaway because of the level of your cooperation with authorities versus what these guys are doing?
So you may remember when I testified before the House Oversight Committee and Jim Jordan and Mark the Dopey Meadows, started on this liar, pants on fire and all the other nonsense in order to denigrate me, thinking it was going to, throw me off of track, which of course it didn't. And I stopped the entire proceeding. And I said to them, I know what you're doing. I know the play in the playbook that you're trying to run because I created that playbook. And it didn't work out well for me, and it's not going to work out well for you. That being said, Mark Meadows is in some real serious trouble right now. And I think so is Jim Jordan, and so is Donald Trump Jr., and so is Eric Trump and Laura Trump, and a handful of other council members that were actually communicating with some of these insurrectionists on the outside while they were even on the inside. I mean, this is really crazy stuff, folks. I mean, you start to think about, this is our U.S. Capitol. This is the people's house. And there was an insurrection. We haven't had this in, 150 years? And now, of course, under Donald Trump, who's going to deny the fact that this actually even happened, there was no love in the air. Maybe there was love amongst the insurrectionists, but certainly not towards the police, certainly not if they got their hands on Mike Pence, certainly not if they got their hands on Nancy Pelosi or other members of Congress who were doing their duty and they were certifying the electoral votes.
So, Michael Cohen, I know that you also filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump, Bill Barr, and others. Could you very briefly tell us what's the basis of that lawsuit?
So the basis of the lawsuit stems from the teleconference that we had going back in July of 2020 when I was unconstitutionally remanded. And U.S. District Judge Alvin K. Hellerstein found that the Trump administration's Department of Justice's actions trampled all over my First Amendment rights. And just if I can, Hellerstein's quote was, I make the finding that it's so important here. This is Hellerstein's words, not mine. I make the finding that the purpose of transferring Mr. Cohen from furlough and home confinement to jail is retaliatory. And it's retaliatory because of his desire to exercise his First Amendment rights to publish a book. Now, that's insane. And Rachel Maddow, who talked about this case on Friday, had an incredible comment when she turned around and she said that the point of this that's supposed to scare everybody is the extreme peril of a president who's willing to abuse this power in the way that he did. And that's actually the point of the case. It's not just about only myself. It's about holding Donald Trump accountable, holding Bill Barr accountable, holding the Department of Justice, the Bureau of Prisons, all of the folks, the 16 named individuals in this case. Each and every one of them played a role in the unconstitutional remand of me back to prison because they were told to by obviously someone above them, and the person who was in obvious fear of the release of the book Disloyal was Donald Trump.